proud of that. I was raised in a little town called Pittsburgh, California, and we've got a lot of things to be proud out of Pittsburgh. We've got Olympian runners that ran in the Olympics, and we've got NFL football players and musicians. You know, it's nice to be proud of where you come from. But I still didn't know that part of me that was missing. And as I moved up to Oregon, I started to run into Native people for the first time. They're in the Bay Area too, but there's so many more people, and it's so bigger that you don't run into them easily. So I started going to powwows, and before you know it, man, my light was on. You know, I started learning about my background and doing ceremony, and, you know, that led to Sundance, and many incredible transformations happen to all of us when we really get back in touch with who we are. So if you're, you know, working on walking that walk and talking that talk so you can get a job, so you can go to college, so you can, you know, be like everybody else, that's good. You have to do that. But if you feel like there's a part of you that you don't know, get real quiet and pray and ask Creator, show me that part of me that I'm feeling that I don't know. I need to know this. And one of our elders used to say, when we would question why I can't do this ceremony or why it's hard for me, he'd say, fake it until you make it. He didn't really mean fake it, but he wanted you to take the effort to at least go in there and do that ceremony so you could have the experience. And the experience of ceremony is magic. That's where miracles happen. They don't happen just walking down the street. You have to sit down, get quiet, and apply yourself. So it went like that, and I got into the music industry, but you know, I had to leave the music industry because it really wasn't me. The drugs was just too much. I was going to have to, every important administrator in Warner Brothers or any of the companies I went to go talk to about doing an album, they had piles of cocaine on their table. You couldn't get away from it. And I knew I didn't have the strength to fight it. So I walked away from the whole thing. Got a job in the computer business. This is like in the 70s. And I opened up a Mexican restaurant on Haight Street in San Francisco. I opened up a cleaners. I like business. And eventually I went back to school. I became an acupuncturist, Chinese medicine, Chinese theory. It's very much like native theory, yin and yang, hot and cold, up and down, in and out, fire and water. It's the same thing that we think. So I went in a big circle. And then through Sundance, I actually exposed some of the parts of me that were no longer serving me, like my pride. You know, my pride got me through my early years so I wouldn't go and steal a car and end up in prison, or go rob a shop and end up in prison. My pride said, you're from the Avila family, you know, these people are proud of you. These are your relatives. You can't go and get caught and end up in prison like some of your other relatives. They put a lot into you. They've done a lot for you. You have to respect that. So my pride helped me to stay away from getting in trouble. But once I went through the Sundance, that spirit said to me, you don't need your pride. Here, all you need is faith. Yeah, so.
Okay, so please grace us with the healing art of music.
Okay, so I try to write only what I know about. I don't try to make up anything. And that's what you'll hear in my songs. So this is called Lakota Man Said, and there's a video of it called Lakota Man Said. Hoo, ha, hey. Lakota man once said to me, we all come from the buffalo. yes he did. A Navajo man came to me. He said, love your elders like yourself. Oh yeah. We try to live in harmony in everything we do. Well, you know our love is true. So try to live in harmony in every single day. Well, you know, yeah, you gotta do it every day. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what the Lakota man said. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what the Yakima said. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what the Navajo said. Love your elders like yourself. Love yourself too. Love your elders like yourself. And love yourself too. Oh.
Okay. Tell us about your music, like the songwriting process, where the inspiration comes from, the will to do it, about the music.
That's another interesting piece because, you know, when you're not trained musically, you know, I didn't go to school for music, and you're going through life in a journey, and you haven't reached that point where you make that spiritual turn. It's just something that you do because you can do it. You know, you don't have any focus yet. You're just playing rock and roll and with the guys in the garage and trying to get girls to look at you. But then these things start to focus. See? Then the focus starts to happen. You start to doing ceremony, and you start to meeting with your bros and doing Sundance songs that have meanings. You know, there's songs for many aspects of spirituality and ceremony, and then that starts to translate into your music. I started singing and playing again, and then I started going into that spiritual vein because there was a Sundance song that got stuck in my head and I couldn't get it out. And I'll give you a little bit of it. It was, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, and I couldn't get that song out of my head. I was singing it every day. And just for the heck of it, I put some, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, and then I played that at a Christmas program. And an elder sent somebody to come and tell me, you can't do that. That's a spiritual song. But I liked it. It was clever. Take that spirit and write another song. And it made sense. Take that spirit from that song that you were singing and put it to another song. Hey, yeah, yeah, hey, hey, yeah, hey, 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 yeah. Was a long time ago that we walked this path alone, and we're walking it again with our families and friends. Was a long time ago that we walked this path alone, and we're walking it again with our families and friends. From the time that we died, we started living again. And we struggled to survive. We started giving again. Ooh, with the power of our prayers, we started singing again. of our ways. We started dreaming, dreaming again. Was a long time ago that we walked this path alone, and we're walking it again with our families and friends. Was a long time ago that we walked this path alone, and we're walking it again, yeah, with our families and friends. You know we're singing our songs for the 7 generations, and we're saying our prayers for health and happiness. But it's a long, long way to go, like the teaching of our children. It's up to you and me